I'm Randall Terry. Welcome to the program. We had an office in Washington, D.C. in the late 80s, early 90s. I would come and go to Washington regularly. Then in the mid-early 2000s, I think 2008 to 2011, we decided we would move our family there and our entire staff. And we lived and we worked inside the Beltway, okay? So I'm not discussing things that go on in Washington, D.C. as somebody who has spent his entire life in the Midwest. I love the Midwest, and I think it's the heart and soul of America at many levels. But we were there. We were in the swamp that Trump is talking about. We were there. I saw it with my own eyes. We would go to Capitol Hill once, twice a week. Now, I'm not what's called a paid lobbyist. But we would go there and we would see them. We would torment them. We would torment some of the staff. Because they're, and I'm saying this in a political, so, plug the ears of any small children in the room or turn them away, but they're political pimps and whores. They're political pimps, whores, and whoremongers. There's buyers, there's users, there's sellers, but not all of them, but most of them, that's what they are. They make exorbitant sums of money. How do you think that Washington, D.C., and the entire Northern Virginia, Southern Maryland area, how do you think it was insulated when the housing market crashed? Think about it. It's because the lobbyists who are making well into six digits, and there's thousands and thousands of them there now, the lobbyists and the federal government employees and the employees of the contractors of the federal government, they didn't see any downturn. Their wages didn't go down. And hence the real estate market there didn't collapse. There was no change in the influx and outgo of money or outflow of money. And why is it that you think that Virginia, that was a stalwart Republican stronghold for a long time for presidential elections, why do you think it's recently been going so far into the Democrat camp? Lobbyists. The swamp livers, those who live in the swamp, make their money from the swamp, drink pond water and pond scum with relish because it's the hors d'oeuvres and it's the liquor and it's the wine and it's the parties and the dances and the music and the access and the wanton debauchery that exists in that town. So when President-elect Trump says that he's going to drain the swamp, Henry Kissinger the other day, I believe it was Sunday, did an interview with a journalist on CNN. And he said something really interesting. I saw most of the interview. He said that, in essence, he said that Trump doesn't owe anyone anything. He comes unattached. He didn't have big money put him in there. He doesn't have a long list of political due bills. Negotiations that he made, like Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell, get along most of the time. He's got none of that to tether him, to entrap him, to tie him up. Politically, he's a free man. And that is what has everyone terrified. So what he's doing is he is shaking, as far as, I would say shaking to its core, shaking to its foundation, Washington. I don't think that that's necessarily true, but we'll see. But by releasing that video that he did, the 2.5 minutes, talking about what he intends to do with energy independence, with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, with unilateral or bilateral trade agreements, with draining the swamp, with ethics reform, he's got people flipping out. Now, there's a level of genius to what he just is talking about right now. And here's what it is. If I was advising him, I would say, do not put forth a Supreme Court justice name. Don't do it. Let the opposition burn itself out with energy independence, with the Southern Wall. Start with energy. Because he's going to get opposition. The media is trying to figure out a way to just start attacking him, and he won't give them access. He won't even get in the ring with them. Or if he does, he says, well, come to my office. We'll sit down. We'll have an off-the-record meeting. That's not the ring where the public can watch. That's his locker room where he dressed them down and pummeled them and said, I am in a room full of liars. And he said it repeatedly. I am in a room full of liars. CNN, you're a network of liars and you should be ashamed. Now, do you understand? Presidents don't do this. Ronald Reagan would tease Sam Donaldson. Oh, Sam, there you go again. Saying Sam was lying. But Trump realizes, Mr. Trump, I apologize, President-elect Trump realizes that the media are part of the problem. They are part of the structural continuity of evil, of deceit, of oppression. When you see these media idiots get behind stopping the Keystone Pipeline or drilling in Anwar or fracking, these media people are just falling in line with a left-wing agenda. And it's not because they're intelligent. It's because they're stupid. And it's not because they're patriotic. It's because they're unpatriotic. Because the marionettes that pay for these, or rather the puppeteers who pay for these sumptuous feasts and their lifestyles are telling them, well, you know, it's really not in America's interest to destabilize the world, and we need a strong and independent Middle East, and by buying oil from them, we actually can suppress Islamic terrorism because at least they've got jobs due to American oil, and America has a good relationship with the world. And they actually they concoct these asinine arguments that our subservience to Middle Eastern oil is in our interest. That's like saying to a group of black people on a plantation, it's really in your interest to stay here. The massa has food for you. The massa has clothing for you. The massa has a roof over your head. What are you going to do if you're free? You're going to starve. You're going to be without clothes. You're going to be without a house. If you look for freedom, you're going to die. You know, I'd rather take my chances as a half-starved free man than a well-fed slave. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support.